Penguins win! 4-3, not in overtime. Brandon Sutter with the winner. Game 1 of the 2014 Stanley Cup Playoffs quarterfinal Metro Division game against the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team still looking for its very first playoff win in franchise history. Well, they would not get it tonight, as the Penguins would prevail after being down 3-1 and come back to win the game 4-1. Hello everybody, and welcome to my first ever Penguins post-game fan reaction video. For these 2014 playoffs, I will be doing fan reactions from every single playoffs game for as long as they take. Please like if you like this video, and subscribe if you really like it, and tell all your friends. So, to recap the game, Penguins win 4-3. A big storyline coming into this game was, how would Marc-Andre Fleury fare after he had seen his sports at colleges in the summer, and they changed their goaltending coach and got a new coach in Mike Bales. People are wondering, was psychologically in his head, would he be able to bounce back? And I thought he had a great game when the Penguins were down 3-1. He made some huge saves to keep his team. One thing that's with Fleury is sometimes I find he moves around too much in the net. He's too scrambly. Sometimes he looks like he's swimming out there, but I thought last night he was very, very calm, did not move too much, and it was quite impressive, and he gave his chance to team to win, which eventually they did after being down 3-1. So a gutsy effort by the Penguins. Not a great start by them, though. First goal was not a great play by Paul Martin. Fleury had no chance on that. Penguins down 1-0. But then Malkin was all over the ice his first period. His line was fantastic. Columbus fails to take the puck out. Malkin makes a great little play to Jokinen. 1-1 game, ties it up. Columbus gets a power play. Kind of a questionable call on Scuderi, but 15 seconds into the power play, Brooks Orpik fails to clear the puck, and Penguins take the lead, 2-1. Man, now, I know Orpik's been on the Penguins for so long. He's our longest tenured player since 2000, and he's a big leader on the team, but he's not had a good season. His possession numbers have been atrocious. He's been beat one-on-one way too many times. He just looks slow. He looks old. He does not look like the Brooks Orpik he used to look like, and that's why he's hitting so much. It's because he never has the puck. Obviously, if you hit more, it's because you never have the puck. It's not a very good sign, and without Paul Martin especially, he looked really, really bad. But I thought since Paul Martin has come back, he settled down his game a bit, and Paul Martin has created the offense, created some rushes, and he has played against tough competition, but he's not had a good season, and I really, really hope the Penguins let him walk this summer, because he's not going to be worth whatever money he wants, that's for sure. So, he fucks up. Penguins are down 2-1. And the shots at this point were 13-11 in favor of Columbus, so not overly tilted, but Columbus definitely did have the better chance, and Fleury had to make some great saves. Coming into the third period, Penguins on a power play. Letang, first playoff game back from a stroke after his brutal series in Boston last year. Bad giveaway. And McKenzie goes down the ice, scores on Fleury. I thought Fleury maybe should have moved a bit more on the shot. I didn't really like the goal on Fleury, but he was fooled. He did think McKenzie was going to go one way and went the other way, so it was okay. But he's probably a stoppable goal, but that play by Letang was just terrible. I mean, I don't want to jerk and pick on the guy because he just came back from a stroke, and I thought he looked awesome in his regular season game back against Detroit and against Philly and Ottawa. I thought he was fantastic with 4 games and 3 points. That was a brutal giveaway by Letang. You can do that in playoffs, and he's one big knock against Letang is he gives away the puck a lot, and he's a fantastic player. I'm a huge fan of him, but you can't be doing that in playoffs. If you're doing that against Columbus, what happens if you face Boston or you face, Philly or you can't be giving away the puck like that. Dan Bosmer recognized that this was a bad play, so he took Letang off the ice on the power play, he made an adjustment, which has been a big criticism of Bosma that I've had and many people have had, is that he doesn't make adjustments. He's very, very stubborn in what he wants, and he'll stick with it the whole game, and he will not change. Well, this season, he has made a lot more of adjustments. I don't know if this is due to injuries or whatever, but he has definitely adjusted more, and I've really liked that. I thought he's becoming a more well-rounded coach. He did that on this play, took Letang off the ice, put Niskanen on, 11 seconds left on the PP. Great shot from Niskanen. Nice little tip from Bo Bennett in front of the net, who has looked A-okay in his return, by the way. He's really, really helped the Penguins get scoring up and down their lineup, because for most of the season, it was Crosby's line. It was Malkin's line. I believe Crosby was responsible for almost 43 or 47% or something like that of all the Penguins' goals. And Taylor Hall was second, I believe, with 36. Like, it wasn't even close. And when Crosby doesn't get a point, I believe the Penguins were 3-15-3. So he was very, very important to that team. Still is, obviously. And having Bo Bennett has alleviated some of the pressure off Crosby. And tonight he only played just over 19 minutes, which is really important, because if we want to have a long playoff run, we have to have balanced ice time. And I thought that was important. Crosby's played way too much during the regular season, not to mention Olympics. He was second only to Ryan Kessler in ice time out among all forwards. He played just over 22 minutes, which is a career high for him. He also took most of the shifts in the defensive zone, a lot more responsibility on him. And I thought that for the first time in a while, he didn't have to do so much, because the Penguins had a healthy lineup. So I thought that was good. So yeah, great little play from Bo Bennett. Again, great possession player. He's really helped the Penguins in that regard. Penguins get another power play. 2 dumb penalties by Columbus. You can't be taking those, especially against the league's #1 best power play. Dan Bosma again notices that he pretty much, after Letang makes that mistake, he pretty much sits him for the rest of the first unit power plays. I don't think Letang only played just over 18 minutes, so he didn't really play a whole lot. He didn't have a great game, so Bosma recognized that. He did not play him a lot on the power play. I did think he settled down a bit, though, in the third, made some nice plays. He puts Niskanen out there instead. Nice little adjustment. Great little play by Crosby and Malkin to feed Niskanen, and a great little play by Niskanen on the left side on the half wall. That's not a goal that Bobrovsky should have had, though. It was 5-hole, and you cannot let those 5-hole goals in. He's a great goalie, and he proved that with his Vezina last year, but he has a limited sample size in playoffs, and the last time he played in playoffs, the Penguins ate him alive in 2012 in that crazy series. So he's going to have to be a lot better than he was tonight if Philly wants to even have a chance to win a game in this, if Columbus even wants to have a chance to win a game in this series, because just like the third goal, the second goal was not great. I did not like his game overall. I thought Niskanen ties it up. It stayed like that for most of the game. Then, in the third period, Penguins get a break. Dan Bosma made another adjustment. According to the Penguins' Twitter, they had planned to do this before Game 1. He takes Bo Bennett off the top line, drops him down with Sutter and Stempniak, moves Glass as a result down to the fourth line. I believe this change was after the first period. He puts Gibbons up with Crosby and Kunitz, and I didn't really understand that change at first, because I didn't know why an AHL player would be playing with Crosby and Kunitz. But they were kind of invisible until that point, and putting Gibbons with them, they traded a lot more speed on that line, and Gibbons is pretty fast, and it paid off because drew 2 penalties. Crosby had an assist. He had some great chances. He really took over in the third period, made some fantastic plays defensively and offensively, and adding Bo Bennett to the line with Sutter and Stempniak created a more scoring across our lineup, created more of a scoring line on the third line, and the fourth line was really that kind of that typical prototypical checking line, was when you had Glass, Adams, and Itali, and Glass is definitely better suited to a fourth line role than a third line role. So both of his moves actually paid off, and I was a little skeptical. I still would rather see Bennett up there with Crosby and Kunitz, especially since he's a right-hand shot. He'd be playing his right-hand side instead of playing on the left which is the off wing, but he got a goal and assist, so set up Sutter for that game winner. Not a great goal, though. His angle was a little off. That's a shot he normally should have stopped. He would have stopped. He should have stopped. And according to head coach Todd Richards, he normally stops that. But it was not a great goal from him. But, Sutter has really, really picked up his game lately. He has a very underrated shot. He's really stepped up in some huge games when the Penguins have not had Malkin. They've not had Neal. He scored two great shootout winners, once against Anaheim, once against the Rangers. He had that huge 2-goal game in Colorado where it was basically him, Neal, and an AHL team. And, they beat the Avalanche, which has not been an easy team to beat this season. So I thought he's really stepped up his game lately. He did not have a great start to the season because he's played with such a mishmash of wingers. He's played with ridiculous amounts of wingers, from Chris Connor to Brian Gibbons to Gotch to Stempniak to Vitali. Like, it's just been Zolnarchuk. I think he's played with 18 or something different wingers, so it's really hard for him to find the chemistry and to mesh. But I think Stempniak's really provided a nice staple on that line. Having Bennett there creates more of a puck possession line, and so he's really started to pick up his game, which I like that. And one thing that's been really critical of the Penguins is that they've not had good secondary scoring, and if they want to win, they want to go deep in the playoffs, they have to have good secondary scoring. All the great teams like Chicago, LA, San Jose, they have great depth across their lineup. Penguins are going to need that if they want to win. So overall, great gutsy effort by the boys. Not a great start overall. They're going to want to look for a better start on Saturday, but they came out with the win, which is what matters most. Shots were 34-32 in favor of Columbus, so the Penguins did even it up in the third. Columbus did not have a shot for 10 minutes and 33 seconds, so Pittsburgh really, really took over. Even though Crosby only had 1 assist, I thought he was on his game, especially in the third. When he got away from Dubinsky, I think that's going to want to be a matchup Bosma's going to want to stay away from, because Dubinsky can rattle Crosby, and Crosby's a guy that does have a tendency to get off his game. I think he cares too much sometimes, and that's actually detriment to the team, I think, than helping the team. So I thought he looked much better. They were only credited with 10 giveaways, but they probably had 10 giveaways in the first alone. They're going to want to control their giveaways. Columbus did a great job of playing an aggressive forecheck, forcing the D to turn to the puck, which is kind of the book on the Penguins, and they're going to want to control that. Overall, though, great game. I thought Fleury was fantastic. I thought Niskanen was great. Bennett was great. But it's going to have to be a better all-around 60-minute effort if we want to win on Saturday, because Columbus is going to come out strong and they're going to be feisty. All right, thanks for watching. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you really like it, tell all your friends, and I will see you on Saturday after Game 2.